Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to Trinity. My name's Hussein. Happy to be with you. Happy you could be with me. And today we are just going to do a short little live stream about an animal, Yaffour, Yaffour, the donkey. This was Muhammad's donkey, and supposedly it was a gift from Egypt to Muhammad, and this donkey was this was not any average donkey. It was descended from many notable donkeys in history. It has a long, I mean, the lineage is very impressive. It's probably the royal lineage of donkeys. And Yafur, there's many stories about him in the Hadith. Um, and so let me see if I could find some of the Hadith. Let's look at a little bit about what Wikipedia. They actually have some very interesting things the Wikipedia does about Yafur. It says Yafur, also rendered fair, meaning deer, was a donkey that used to as a mount by Muhammad, who is said often to have ridden it without harness. Boy, boy. There are many tales of this donkey, but the most common would be that the donkey is recorded to have been a gift from the Byzantine governor of Egypt, sometime between 628 and 632 AD. What does it mean when one of the most powerful people on the planet send you a donkey? What does that mean? I mean, is that a good thing? This is like it's like from President Trump. At the time, the leader of the Byzantine Empire in Egypt was one of the most powerful people on earth. And he sends Muhammad a donkey. What does that mean? According to both Sunni and Shiite tradition, okay, it had the power of speech. I wonder where Muhammad stole that from. Okay. Um, this is very similar to the biblical story because in the biblical story, another false prophet also had a talking donkey. His name was Balaam, and Jesus warned the church in, I believe, church in Pergamus, beware of Balaam, the error of Balaam. He warned them about Balaam. He is a false prophet who also rode a donkey that talked. Now, there's a difference between Muhammad's talking donkey and the Bible's talking donkey. Okay, because a lot of people say, um, they'll say, wait a minute, why are you bringing attention to this story? Um, because it's in the Bible that there was a talking donkey. Okay, so it's not like unheard of that a donkey would talk. And the Bible also has a talking snake talk. Okay, and so hello, howdy, man, tuna. God bless you. Yafur. Beautiful حمارة. أنت بتحكي عربي؟ Howdy, man, tuna. هل أنت بتحكي عربي؟ Sounds like you speak Arabic there, howdy, man, tuna. Oh. Howdy, man, tuna, guys. He says beautiful Himara. And the thing is that the word for donkey in Arabic is himar. Himar. Uh, uh, a female donkey would be called himara. We know that Yafur was a male donkey because شوية بتحكي عربي من وين انت؟ من وين انت؟ is that Muhammad used to talk to this donkey, and but I wanted to see the numbers. Let's just see the numbers story, just because there's something that's important about the situation in numbers compared with Muhammad's attempt to usurp this storyline for himself. Okay. Um, okay, this was Balaam. Okay, this is when the Israelites were going through the wilderness. They were near Moab, and the king of Moab wanted to curse the Israelites. But um, every time he went, it says, and God said to Balaam, do not go with them. You must not put a curse on those people because they are blessed. And so Balaam was stubborn, disobedient, and he wanted to go and curse the Israelites like Muhammad did. So much in common with Muhammad. And then look what happened in the morning. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, the donkey, and went with the Moabite officials. But God was very angry when he went. The angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat it to get it back on the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path through the vineyards with walls on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it. So he beat the donkey again. Then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in the narrow place where there was no room to turn, either to the right or the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under Balaam, and he was angry and beat it with its staff. But look what happens here. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth. See, this was a very specific miracle. The Lord opened the donkey's mouth. Okay. It wasn't that this was a special lineage of donkeys, that a special donkey that was related to famous Pharaoh donkeys or something. This was just an average donkey. But it says the Lord opened his mouth. And it's so interesting that Balaam was a prophet and he was called a seer. He said he saw, and he really prophesied. I think, if from the prophetic angle, I mean, in the book of First Peter, Balaam is called the mad prophet. He was a crazy prophet. He had the gift of prophethood. Even though he wasn't a Jew, he wasn't an Israelite, but he had the gift. Now, I don't know, but it's possible, I guess, maybe, that because Balaam would have been from the lineage of Lot, he would have been a descendant of Lot, because the Moabites were the children of Lot. Remember when his daughter slept with him? slept with him, and one of the daughters gave birth to Ammon. The other gave birth to Moab. So Lot is the ancestor of the Moabites and Ammonites. So is there a prophetic gift from Lot to his descendants, including Balaam, even though he's not among God's people? He was related to Lot, a descendant of Lot. And so maybe because he obviously has a gift, and God talks to Balaam. God talks to Balaam many times, and Balaam was familiar with the voice of the Lord. Dude, how is someone like that, with God talking to him so clearly, and God doing miracles in his life, here actually having a donkey talk to him, and yet he was so wicked, as if he never knew about the Lord? But the Lord actually spoke to him. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And he wasn't one of the Jews. He wasn't a Jew. He wasn't an Israelite, wasn't a descendant of Levi as a priest and as a prophet. So, I think maybe there's a connection through Lot. Maybe there is a prophetic gift because of Lot. I don't know. Okay. There was also Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, who was a priest of God among the Midianites. And those are other descendants of Abraham, Midianites. And so, and it seems like Moses' father-in-law had a relationship with God. It seems like it. Okay. All right. But it says the Lord opened the donkey's mouth. Okay. And it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Wow. Wow. So the Lord opened the donkey's mouth to say this. Balaam answered the donkey. So Balaam spoke to the donkey, just like Muhammad did. And Balaam said, "You made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." Yay, this donkey is saving his life. And he's threatening to kill him. The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you?" "No," he said. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. So the donkey saw the angel. I mean, how is that? The donkey saw it, but I know a donkey is not sinful. A donkey is not sinful. They're not sinners like humans. Maybe that might be a reason why the donkey saw the angel, but the prophet did not. Okay. But anyway, the thing I wanted to show was that it specifically says, the Lord opened the donkey's mouth. So it wasn't like there's a special breed of donkeys that talks or something. The Lord did this. And why did he do it? He did it to save Balaam, maybe to grant him repentance. But Balaam was a numbskull, and so he did not take warning from God. So شويش الدنيا يا حبيبي الدنيا يا باي انت مصري. You're from Egypt. Okay. Well. All right. Well, ahla sahla beek. Welcome to you. I've been to Egypt many times. I love Egypt. So anyway, so this is the situation with uh, Balaam's donkey. Okay, but let's look at Yafur. Yafur, on the other hand, according to Shiite and Sunni tradition, it had the power of speech. And this donkey, Yafur, even had a name, Yafur the donkey. Okay. Now, I remember when I was a boy in our village in the Middle East that we had a donkey. Um, I don't think we named it. I don't think we named it. Okay. But we did name the dog. The dog was called Kiss Kiss. Or was that the donkey? No, it was the dog. So, okay. Anyway, so Yafur is a talking donkey, but I think it talked all the time. It wasn't just, there was one time where Muhammad, it was such class. He had such amazing class. He was such a classy person. And he said to Yafur, he said, "Hey, do you think about women? You know, do you lust after, women, female donkeys and stuff?" And Yafur said no. Um, Let me see if I can find that very important hadith. Uh, right now, I'm sorry, I just got home from work, so I didn't have a chance to really uh, prepare a little bit enough, actually. So, but I will look for it. So it was written. It had the power of speech and told Muhammad, don't tell me Muhammad didn't have issues, you guys. He talked to a donkey, and the donkey talked to him. And don't tell me he didn't have issues, okay? It was the last of a line of donkeys ridden by prophets. It was the descendant of the donkey ridden by Jesus in his triumphal entry into Jerusalem, which was also called Yafur. Yo, boy, yeah. So he's saying that Jesus' donkey was called Yafur too. My goodness, things that you learn from Islam. Do we know the name of the donkey? The the donkey Jesus rode? You guys, I think we need Grok assistance right now. Let me just go get my phone real quick. Okay. So it's my work phone. I'm a custodian, guys. So pray for me to get a real job. I want to be a pastor. So pray for me. Okay, let's talk to Grok. Talk to Grok. Talk to Grok. Talk to Grok. Have there been a lot of um, talking donkeys in history?
The most famous one, Balaam's donkey from the Bible, who spoke to warn him about danger. Other than that, mythology has a few, like Pegasus, but he didn't talk. Mostly, it's just stories or movies, like Shrek. Why? You planning on writing one?
How about Muhammad?
In Islamic tradition, Prophet Muhammad rode a donkey named Yaffour during his journeys, but it never talked. The animal was just loyal and fast. Stories about speaking animals are rare there. Mostly camels get dramatic, like during the Isra and Miraj, but they're silent too. You thinking of a specific tale?
Well, Muhammad used to talk to his donkey. Do you know the story about Muhammad asking the donkey if he thought about women?
No, I don't think that's accurate, at least not from anything mainstream. Early Islamic texts don't say Muhammad conversed with animals like that. There's poetry, there's hadith about kindness to donkeys, like how he once stopped folks from overburdening one, but no chit chat, let alone that. Sounds more some a mashup of folklore and locker room jokes. If you heard it online, probably satire.
Okay, I know that that's a true story, but anyway, let's just read a little bit more. Actually, yeah, let's just read a little bit more, and then I want to see a couple of videos. So and supposedly, um, do we know the name of the donkey Jesus rode into Jerusalem?
No, the Bible doesn't give it a name, just says it was a colt, young and unridden, symbolizing peace. People sometimes call it the Palm Sunday donkey, but that's tradition, not scripture. Want me to dig into why they picked a donkey?
Okay. Well, according to Muhammad, this donkey um, was related to the donkey Jesus rode. You see, what happened, you guys, in the life of Muhammad is that Muhammad was decided he wanted to become a prophet, and he had a wife who was very supportive of him because she wanted him to become a king, actually. And the way to become a king, she asked the Jews, and the Jews told her, do the David method. They had like it, like they have the Jenny Craig diet. They had the David method to become a king. But they said the best way is first become a prophet, and then from prophethood, just leap onto kingship. And so that's kind of what Muhammad was wanting to do. And so he had what you might call Mohammedamania, I mean megalomania, and he thought he was really something. And he started, especially, he expected that the Jews and Christians were just going to fall all over themselves for him and think that he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, which, by the way, we do have sliced bread. And when I get off, I'm going to make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with milk. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, but that's beside the point. Um, but so, but when he was rejected by the Jews and Christians, at the end of his life, he really wanted to be more Christ-like, not in his character, but in terms of his power and influence, and granting himself um, a lot of uh, deeds that belong to Jesus. For instance, People had to come to him for forgiveness from Allah. He kind of was a mediator. He was going to be an intercessor, interceding for people. And he started taking on Jesus-like attributes, trying to be, to imitate Jesus. And so the donkey thing here is another one of the alleged imitations. Um, and so this donkey was really something. It supposedly spoke. It supposedly Muhammad talked with it. And also, when Muhammad died, the donkey committed suicide. So this donkey, this is one thing I want to ask Grok. Is there any historical documentation of donkeys committing suicide? Is there any historical or archaeological evidence of donkeys committing suicide?
No, nothing like that. Donkeys aren't wired for suicide. They're stubborn survivors, literally. Archaeology digs up plenty of donkey bones from ancient farms or battlefields, but no signs of self-harm. Stories about animals doing dramatic stuff like that usually come from myths or tall tales. Got a weird obsession with donkeys tonight?
But Muhammad's donkey committed suicide.
That is definitely not a thing. Look, I checked what I know. No Islamic source, old or new, says Muhammad's donkey killed itself. Closest is a hadith about him praising donkeys for endurance, not despair. Sounds like urban legend territory. Where'd you even hear that?
No, the donkey threw himself into a well because he was in despair when Muhammad died.
Nah, that story's not real. It's a made-up thing that floats around on some anti-Islam meme pages and forums. None of the classical hadith collections, biographies of the Prophet, or early histories mention any donkey committing suicide out of grief. The animals that were actually close to him, like his camel Qaswa, are talked about with respect, but no dramatic well-jumping scenes. It's pure internet fiction.
You guys, I know it's not internet fiction. There actually is stories of Yaffour's suicide. It was a very, when Muhammad died, this was one of the, you know, there weren't many people who were very sad, but the donkey was very. The donkey is a subject of hadith, an account of sayings of Muhammad, which holds that it has the power of speech. Okay. Okay. I doesn't shoot. I kind of wish. Okay. Um. Okay. According to a version, Muhammad asked the donkey what its name was, to which it replied, Yazid bin Shihab. So this donkey, he was the son of Shihab bin Shihab. His name is Yazid. And I don't know if that's related to the Yazidis. He declined to call it this, instead giving it the name Ya'fur, a name which, according to Islamic tradition, was shared by the donkey ridden by Jesus. According to Islamic tradition, you guys, nobody else on the planet thinks this. Okay. The donkey is said to have declined the gift of a female companion. Okay, this is where some theories that this donkey was gay. Okay, Muhammad, there is a hadith out there, or it might be even Hisham or something, where he asks the donkey, he says, hey, do you like women? And he said no. And so it's kind of a deduction, okay, that they deduced that he is gay. And also, he was offered a companion, a female companion, and he turned it down. Okay, so let me see if we can find this. It's in the Encyclopedia of Canonical Hadith. Okay. Unfortunately, it's okay. Yaffour. Okay. So, um, yeah, I'm really surprised that Grok doesn't know about this. Oh, Dalail al-Nabawiyya. Abu. Oh, really? Is this it? Truth Defender? Abu Nu'aym Dalail al-Nabawiyya. Let me see if I can find that. Okay. Dalail al-Nabawiyya. Hmm. Okay, because I think that would give us see your text. Oh, you sent it to me? Oh, the donkey threw him into a well because he was in despair. Oh, yeah, food. Okay. Okay, let's see what brother our brother Truth Defender sent to us here. Sorry, guys, it takes me a second here. Let me go ahead and just read this to you. It says the reference that speaks of the Prophet Muhammad's donkey Yaffour jumping into a well after the Prophet's death is a narration found in the book Dala'il al-Nabawiyya by 11th century scholar Abu Nu'aym al-Asfahani, specifically cited as volume 2, page 138. Okay, so, this is thank you very much for getting that. And okay, let me see if I can, you know, okay, continue. Okay, I'm going to get a number here in a second. Two eight. Okay, I got it. Okay, okay. The shooting. All right. Well, sorry, guys. 8, 20. Okay, I got it here. All right. Thank you, brother.
Did you try again?
Okay, thank you, brother, for doing that. And so I also want to watch a couple of videos because there's some videos about Ya'fur, Dala'il al-Nabawiyya. These are the evidence of prophethood. This is how you know Muhammad is a prophet. These are the proofs of prophethood. Dala'il means like evidence. Nabawiyya means related to Muhammad, related to his prophethood. And one of the proofs of his prophethood is that the donkey spoke. So this is a very important topic here. So let's look at some of these videos. There's some videos. Oops, where are they? How come they're not showing here? Cancel. Okay. Let me see if I got these. Okay. Why isn't it showing up? I don't know why. I want to share this. Share screen. Okay. Okay. The Hmar Yaffour. The donkey Yaffour. Let's see what this guy says.
وبعض رجاله رجال الحمير. بعض رجاله رجال الايه؟ حمير. الحمير بمعنى
ده اسم الحمار أن عفيرة.
It says talking about the name of the donkey. It was Yaffour.
يقول أن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يركب حمارا.
It says, he says, oops, I'm not showing you guys this. Sorry. Oh, you guys are seeing it. Okay. It says the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to ride a donkey.
حمار اسمه عفير كما هو.
And the name of the donkey was Afir. Now he's saying Afir, but it's Yaffour. So.
معلوم. اسمه ايه؟ عفير. عفير؟ عفير. أو
Okay, this reporter is trying to be serious, okay? He's really trying to, this is going to really help further his career. But you can tell he's got a big zabiba. It's a big reason there.
طيب. نعم.
ده اسم الحمار أن عفيرة، يعني كان حمار النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، ركب عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
This is the donkey of the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. And the prophet rode upon it, peace and blessings be upon him. And so,
ركب عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
and the prophet rode upon it, peace and blessings be upon him.
الحمار حدث النبي صلى الله.
And then it says that the donkey spoke to the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
أي. عن أبيه بدون
About his father. So the donkey was talking to the prophet about his father.
ضرب اليد على الكتف.
Without him having to hit the donkey on his shoulder.
قال أن جدي ركب مع نوح في السفينة.
Oh, this goes even, wow, this is truly fantastic, you guys. Apparently, this donkey's grandfather, this is what the sheikh says, you guys. I'm not making this up. The sheikh says that this donkey's grandfather was on Noah's Ark.
فالتفت إلى النبي وهذا عجيب. النبي
Okay, so the donkey turned to the prophet.
يركب الحمار.
He was riding a donkey.
قام الحمار ملتفت للنبي باصص لكده.
And the donkey turned to the prophet and looked at him like this.
باصص للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، لف دماغه وبص يكلم النبي.
And he started talking to the prophet.
فقال له الحمار للرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Then the donkey said to the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
حدثني أبي.
He says, my father spoke to me.
عن أبيه.
About his father. Okay, guys, so I don't want to get you confused. The donkey is talking to Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, about his father. The donkey is talking to Muhammad about his father, about the donkey's father. But the donkey's father was talking to the donkey about his father.
عن أبيه.
About his father.
عن جده.
About his grandfather.
يقول له إيه؟ حدثني أبي الحمار.
The donkey said, my father told me. So the donkey is talking about what his father told him.
أبي.
He said,
أو يبقى عندي 4 حمير.
So we have 4 donkeys. We have 4 donkeys, you guys. We're talking about 4 donkeys. Please be clear about this.
حدثني أبي.
Okay, my father talked to me.
عن أبيه.
About his father.
عن جده.
About his grandfather.
عن أبيه. السنة دي في 4 حمير.
And so And so the Senate, the line, the lineage is four donkey. It's a four donkey. It's a four donkey lineage.
قال أن جدي ركب مع نوح في السفينة.
And it said, so apparently Yaffour's dad told him that his grandfather was on Noah's Ark.
طيب الحمار الرابع بيقول ايه اللي هو
The fourth donkey, what did the fourth donkey say?
الكبير ان نوحا ركب عليه.
He said that Noah, you guys, this is really big. Not only was this donkey riding on Noah's Ark, but Noah actually used to ride on this donkey. Noah himself used to ride on this donkey. So there's like 4 generations there.
تصور سند حمار عن حمار عن حمار.
يبقى عندي 4 حمير.
So there's 4 donkeys. Don't forget this.
حدثني ابي عن ابيه عن جده عن ابيه. السند هنا في 4 حمير.
تصور سند حمار عن حمار عن حمار. تصور هذه العقلية التي يريدون
Look at the reporter, you guys. Now this guy's got a big, it's called the SEMA, which means the mark. But this guy is cracking. This reporter guy is cracking up. I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, I'm going to have to go home to my family, and they're watching me with all my relatives now. He's cracking up. Watch. This is funny. Watch it.
التي
Look, he's cracking up. He's laughing.
يريدون بها إثبات. تصور الأمر العجب.
It says, look at this amazing issue.
الأمر العجب.
ان نوحا ركب عليه الى الحمار 2 3 4. الرابع بيقول ان كان راكبه نوح.
The fourth donkey said that Noah used to ride him.
فمسح على كنفه وفي روايه كيف له ثم
So he rubbed his shoulder.
قال يخرج من صلب هذا الحمار حمار يركبه سيد الاولين والاخرين.
And it was said to him that from the descendants of this donkey, are going to be donkeys that prophets ride.
محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is going to ride a descendant of this lineage of Noah's donkey.
ثم قال فالحمد لله الذي جعلني هذا الحمار حتى تركبني يا رسول الله. يعني الحمار ثانية. الحمار بيقول السند كله حدثني أبي عن جدي عن أبيه. يعني الإسناد كله 4 حمير. نوح كان راكب الحمار الرابع يا رسول الله فداك أبي وأمي. أما الحمار قال له كده فداك أبي وأمي.
تصور سند حمار عن حمار عن حمار. تصور هذه العقلية التي يريدون بها.
You saw the guy cracking up, man. Because what this guy said, he says, it says that this donkey spoke about this donkey, It says, look at the intellect. Look at what kind of an intellect is involved here. And the guy just cracked up. They should have edited that out. Doctor for Islam.
إثبات. تصور الأمر العجب.
Look at this amazing situation.
الأمر العجب. ثم لما أحرجناهم في بعض المناظرات قالوا
When we embarrass them in some of the debates,
لاحظ
ايه المانع ما كان النمله اتكلمت يعني؟
أي
and then this guy says, well, it says that an ant talked too, right? This guy's cracking up. This guy is just like, I want to see what he said again. He says it also says an ant talked, right?
ايه المانع ما كان النمله اتكلمت يعني؟
أي
It says also an ant talked.
كذلك هناك حمار تكلم مع النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. ذكرت ذلك عندما كنا نتكلم في غزوة أظن بني قريظة في غزوة.
Oh, so this is, wow, this guy's kind of bringing a different angle to this, that the donkey was involved in when Muhammad attacked the Benu Qurayza, which is the Jewish tribe that he committed genocide on.
خيبر، نعم، في غزوة خيبر.
And the Battle of Khaybar. That's where he took that woman who made him dinner.
عندما دخل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الصحابة خيبر فرأوا حمارا، كذلك ذكر هذه الرواية ابن كثير في البداية والنهاية. فرأى حمارا فجيء به إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال له ما اسمك.
Okay, so this is completely going into a different dimension. Okay, this guy, he says that actually when Muhammad went to attack Khaybar, this is where he got that woman that he married who cooked him dinner and with poison in it. And he killed her husband, her brother, and her father. And when he went into Khaybar, he saw the donkey, and he asked the donkey, Muhammad did, he asked the donkey, and this is before the poisoning. This is before the poisoning, you guys. So can you imagine after the poisoning? This is before the poisoning. And he asked the donkey, what is your name? He asked the donkey, what is your name?
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ايش يقول ما اسمك؟ فقال عبد الله بن شهاب.
It says Abdullah bin Shihab, son of Shihab.
بعد في اسم أبوك وجدك. فقال يا رسول الله أنا من نسل 40 حمارا وكل ما كان من نسلي أو ما كان من آباء وأجدادي لم يركب علينا إلا نبي.
Wow. See, now this is truly, expanding the knowledge, because this guy's really, he's really studied this. Okay. He says that the donkey spoke to Muhammad and said to Muhammad that he was from a lineage of 40 donkeys, not 4, 40 donkeys, and that only prophets rode on these donkeys, on this lineage of donkeys. So very important. See, you learn so much. Some of these guys work so hard studying these things.
تصور سند حمار عن حمار عن حمار.
He says, imagine the lineage of a donkey. From a donkey. Okay.
يعني آبائي وأجدادي من الحمير سبحان الله ما طلع علينا إلا نبي وإني.
This guy saying that the donkey that spoke to Muhammad, apparently, now there's some confusion here, because Wikipedia said that this donkey was given to Muhammad from the Byzantine king of Egypt. But here it's saying that he got the donkey from Khaybar. That's where, Khaybar, ya Yahud, Jaysh Muhammad say Yaud. And
أنا أنتظرك لأني آخر واحد من نسلهم.
Oh my goodness. Yabba This donkey said to Muhammad, he said, I've been waiting for you because you're the last prophet and you are to ride upon me. Maybe that's why the donkey committed suicide, because maybe that's why he didn't like women, so that there won't be a continuation of the lineage because there's no more prophets. Muhammad was the last prophet. So the donkey.
فطلع عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وسماه النبي ماذا؟ من يعرف؟ يعفور.
So Muhammad looked at him and appreciated him and changed his name to Yaffour.
ده اسم الحمار. أن عفيرة.
حمار اسمه عفير كما هو معروف.
This is a donkey. His name's Afir. Now they're saying it a little bit different. Yaffour, Afir.
اسمه ايه؟ عفير.
سمى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بغلته وحماره يعفور. وتكلمنا في الأسبوع الماضي عن معجزات النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Now this guy is kind of also going into a different realm with this. He's saying last week we talked about the miracles of Muhammad
البهائم أو مع الحيوانات.
with animals, with beasts.
وذكرنا 4 أنواع من البهائم.
And there was 4 kinds of animals.
أليس كذلك؟ فذكرنا من جملتها أن البعير اشتكى إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And there was a camel who complained to Muhammad. You guys, and I believe this was pre-poisoning this was happening.
وذكرنا كذلك أن الغزالة سلمت على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And there's also a deer who spoke to him.
وكلمت الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم وقالت أشهد أنك رسول الله. وذكرنا كذلك قصة ماذا؟ قالت أشهد أنك رسول الله.
Okay, and the deer said, I bear witness that you are the prophet of Allah. So the deer said that, and he knew the shahada from Sahih Muslim. Amazing deer.
وذكرنا كذلك قصة ماذا؟ الذئب.
There's also a story of a wolf.
أليس كذلك؟ وأرجعنا ذلك إلى كتب السنة.
Go back to the books of Sunnah.
ذكرنا كذلك قصة الضب.
Let's talk about a bear
الذي شهد للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
that also spoke the shahada. So this bear also spoke the shahada. You guys, what do you say about that? This guy just said about a bear that said the shahada. What do you call that? You call that this animal bear witness.
وسلم شهد لله عز وجل بالوحدانية وشهد للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالرسالة صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وكذلك ذكرنا غير ذلك، ذكرنا كذلك الحمار وسماه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعفور.
And he's also talking about the donkey named Yaffour.
أليس كذلك؟ وكان ذلك في غزوة خيبر عندما دخل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خيبر فوجد فيها حمارا، فذكر ذلك تلك القصة الحافظ ابن كثير في البداية والنهاية وغيره. ثم عندما رأى الحمار.
Ibn Kathir is the one that wrote about this encounter with the donkey. Okay, the meeting with the donkey is in Ibn Kathir's book. It's called Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, very famous book, Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. And so he's the one that actually, if you want to study this more, talks about the first encounter, between Muhammad and Yaffour.
قال له ما اسمك فقال شهاب ابن فلان، يعني ما شاء الله
He
بالنسبة.
says, what's your name? He says, Shihab ibn.
ما شاء الله. تمام، لم يقل حمار ابن حمار وإنما قال اسمي فلان.
صور سند حمار عن حمار عن حمار. تصور هذه العقلية التي يريدون بها إثبات.
You guys, I'm not laughing at this story or about these amazing miracles. I'm laughing at that guy who's laughing because he knows he's gonna have to stand in front of his friends. He's gonna have to go to face his family later on, and they're gonna ask him, "What were you guys talking about? How the heck they pay you to do this?"
التي
Watch him.
يريدون بها
He's laughing. He can't.
إثبات. تصور الأمر العجب.
Look at this amazing and miraculous.
الأمر العجب.
So it's a wonder situation. Okay. Okay. So anyway, guys, we just wanted to talk a little bit about Yaffour, about the donkey, and البداية والنهاية. Yes. So دعوات إسلامية. Oh, the miracle of Yaffour. Yeah. So he was talking. But you know what? He's not like the donkey, Balaam's donkey. Balaam's donkey spoke, but it says specifically that God opened his mouth to speak. Okay. So it was a one-time thing. The Lord actually came and spoke. But with this donkey, he talked all the time, and Muhammad used to speak to that donkey all the time. So it was very, and then when Muhammad died, he committed suicide. So, yeah. So there you go, you guys. Yaffour. Let's just look at one more thing here real quick. I'm not going to prolong this any longer, more than necessary. But let's see. There's a cartoon. Let's see the cartoon here. مرحبا. Hello.
سألتك يا يعفور هل تحب النساء يا صديقي الحمار؟
Okay, and this is supposedly Muhammad, and he says, I asked you, donkey, do you like women? Uh-oh.
لعنة الله. أحب النساء لعنة الله عليك يا حمار يا يعفور لعنة الله عليك.
Does the curse of Allah be on Yaffour?
إنك حمار غشيم يا لا.
You are a wicked donkey.
لعنة الله عليك.
Curse of Allah be on you.
ما هذا الحمار؟ ما هذا الحمار؟ من أين تأتي أنت؟ ما هذا الحمار؟ أبو بكر خذ هذا الحمار له أهديك إياه. خذه. ماذا أفعل به هذا الحمار؟ ماذا أفعل به؟ لا.
Where do they get these cartoons? I mean, seriously. I mean, I could see where this could be dangerous for somebody to, so Yaffour Sahabi al-Jadid. Okay, guys. Well, I don't know if there's anything else. I don't know what this is. This looks scary, though. حبيبي يا محمد عليك الصلاة والسلام. Okay.
بحلم بيك أنا بحلم بيك يا يعفور دايما بناديك.
Okay, the guy's singing, oh, Yaffour, I dream about you, I dream about you. So, okay, well, so, all right, you guys. Well, thank you for Well, that's why some people think that it could be a gay donkey. I've heard that. Okay, I believe it was Christian Prince who said that, so that's not my conjecture. So, so all right, you guys. I know this was kind of like just for fun, funny, but if you're a Muslim, this is in your books. Okay. If you're a Muslim, this is in your books. Okay. I didn't make any of this up. If I made it up, then you have reason to be angry with me. You have reason to be angry with, you have a reason to be angry with people who misled you. Okay. Because this is what is in your books. This is what some of your most respectable scholars say. Ibn Kathir, one of the most respected Islamic scholars, says this. Here's the link. If you're a Muslim, I welcome you to come on if you want to talk about it. I'm not going to stay very long because I got to work tomorrow early. But if you want to come on, I'll talk to you a little bit. And then if not, we'll go ahead and call it a night. So thank you for coming on. And I know whatever. All right, you guys. Thank you for being with us. And yes, isn't he who raises his head before the Imam afraid that Allah may transform his head into that of a donkey or his figure into that of a donkey? Yeah, so Muhammad said that when you're praying, if you lift up your head before the Imam does, that your head may turn into the head of a donkey. So there's a lot of donkey issues Muhammad spoke about. And and plus, don't forget the magic donkey that flew from Mecca to Masjid al-Aqsa, Al-Buraq. So, all right, you guys. We should end it on a serious note. On a serious note, it does say that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, on a colt. And that when he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, that was David, 1,000 years earlier rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. It was the royal, that was how kings were greeted. They're riding on donkey. It means that they come in peace. And Jesus came lowly riding on a donkey. And what's so important about that day? It's a very miraculous day when Jesus did that. And he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. First of all, there's a prophecy in the book of Zechariah. Okay, and this is the prophecy. Let me show it to you. When Jesus rode into, let me just, here. Zechariah 9. Okay, I may have to, just because this never works out right. So I may have to, let me show you this. In Zechariah 9, this was written like about 600 years before Jesus. And it says by the prophet Zechariah, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, daughter of Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly, riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." And so this was predicted 700 years or 600 years before Jesus was born, exactly what happened. And Jesus even mentioned this when he was riding into Jerusalem. He mentioned this prophecy. But there's also another prophecy that's very interesting, and that is Daniel chapter 9. It's called the 70 weeks prophecy. And the 70 weeks prophecy is an amazing, amazing prophecy, probably one of the most amazing prophecies in the Bible, because it is a time. It tells you dates. We know when the Bible doesn't give dates. Well, this prophecy gives dates. This prophecy gives dates. And it says, here's Daniel. He says, I was speaking, praying, confessing my sin and the sins of my people Israel. This is when they were in Babylonian captivity, to the Lord my God for his holy hill. And I was still in prayer when Gabriel, this is the real Gabriel, not Muhammad's Gabriel, the man I had seen in earlier vision, came to me in swift flight about the time of the evening sacrifice. He instructed me and said to me, Daniel, I have now come to you to give you understanding. Okay, and then look what it says. 77s are decreed for your people and your holy city to finish transgression, put an end to sin, atone for wickedness, bring in everlasting righteousness, seal up vision and prophecy, and anoint the most holy place. Okay, so 77s, what does that mean? That's 77-year periods. So like there's 7-year periods, 77-year periods. That comes out to 490 years. Well, this prophecy, you should read it if you don't know it. There's a book about it you can get. It's called The Coming Prince. The Coming Prince. And it talks about what these 77s mean. But it's literally 490 years. And look what Gabriel says. Know and understand this. From the time the word goes out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the anointed one, the Messiah, comes, there will be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. 7 sevens, that's 7-year periods, and 62 7-year periods. That comes out to 483 years. 483 years. And it says, from the time the command to rebuild Jerusalem, we know when the command to rebuild Jerusalem went out. We have the date. It was like May 6th, 444 BC. Until the Messiah, we know when Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. It was like April 6th, 7 AD or 32 AD. And it's exactly to the day 383 years. So from the command to rebuild Jerusalem until Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. This prophecy talks about, because it says when the most holy, the anointed one, the ruler comes. The anointed one, this is the Messiah, the king in the Hebrew. It's the king Messiah. And Jesus did not allow them to call him king, except for once, when he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. And so this right here, this prophecy is so exact. I mean, this prophecy has the dates, exact day that Jesus would ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. So about Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, that was a very huge prophetic a signpost. And there's 2 major prophecies about it. 2 major prophecies about it. The exact day that it happened and the fact that he would be riding on a donkey. So it shows you the word of God is alive. Muhammad wanted to steal some of the glory of prophecy for himself and say that he's written in the Bible, but he wasn't, except for that he's a false prophet. But Jesus, the prophecies are mind-boggling. They're phenomenal. And so anyway, all right, you guys, thank you for being with us. If you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. Have a great night.